Everybody, I'm Charlene Shirk, your host today of Advertising Champions. And joining us today as part of our mini panel, we've got Joseph George with George and George ADR Group and Gus Wagner from the Rocket Group. Guys, thank you so much for joining us today on Advertising Champions.
Thank you so much.
Glad to be here.
Oh, well, I'm really excited to talk to both of you because Gus, you're the Rocket Group. You're like the rocket of all things advertising. And we've got Joseph, who really is a niche marketer for a business that really most people don't realize that needs advertising too. So George, let's start with you. Tell folks about what you do and a little bit about the challenges you face in getting the word out about your services.
Well, my name is Joseph George, and I'm partner at George and George ADR Group. And our market have been around for years. Our industry has been around for years, but for some reason, a lot of the mediators and arbitrators, they get referrals from attorneys and judges and things like that. So they really don't market their business. So now that after the pandemic has happened, now everybody's scrambling, trying to figure out ways for them to market their business. So that's where I come in. I market our firm in a different way. Like we use explainer videos to educate the public on mediation and arbitration, to let them know that you don't always have to go to the courthouse. You can actually seek out a mediator or an arbitrator outside of the courthouse to help them resolve their disputes.
And Joseph, are you normally tapped by just within your industry? So are you more of a B2B marketer?
We are B2B and we are actually consumer-based marketing. So we do both because we work with attorneys and we work with the courthouses as well as we work with the consumer who come into us also.
All right, now, Gus, why don't you jump in there as the Rocket Group? You know, you have expertise in marketing all kinds of industries. So how do you take on an industry that may be a little, you know, it's very niche and you've really got to do a deep dive into how you're going to reach the customers of that particular product or service?
Sure. I think that the tactic we use first is to discover the pain point of the largest amount of the potential customers of a firm like his. So, in mediation, you're looking at cost, you're looking at long, drawn out court battles, things like that. And mediation could probably solve that a lot faster than going the traditional route.
What other companies have you had that have been very niche, Gus, that you've had to really think about, gosh, how am I going to get the word out about this group?
Sure. We work a lot in specialized real estate development, and we have some folks who invented storage units, luxury storage units for recreational vehicles. So that's a very niche audience there, I think, and it's that's not something that can move around. So they're in their various geographic locations, but we're still attracting people from all across the country to consider investing, consider renting, consider buying one of these storage units. So it's one we have right now that's a little bit different than most folks have to deal with in the advertising world.
And we all know that client testimonials today are one of the best ways to sell. So, Joseph, how do you get a client testimonial to come out and say, well, yeah, I mean, I didn't get everything I wanted, but I got enough to make me happy? Do you depend on those, or is there some other messaging that you really count on to spread the word?
Because mediation is a confidential process, sometimes it's hard to get the parties to actually do one of those for you. So what we actually do is we strategize and we do more content. And I know Mr. Gus could agree with me that writing content on blogs and doing gets you a lot of exposure, doing explainer videos or D2C, direct to consumer marketing. Those help our particular market get out there to the consumer and educate them at the same time.
And Gus, I'm sure Joseph has a lot of regulations to have to deal with. Anytime you're in legal or you're in medical or financial, you've got all these other rules around advertising outside of just your regular advertising rules. What advice or insight can you provide when dealing with an industry that you've really got to walk a fine line and making sure you're checking off all the boxes?
Sure. I think the biggest thing is just don't make promises that you're going to save money or lose weight or things like that. That's where you get tied up into some legal troubles of your own and might need a mediator of your own to get to solve that problem.
And I got one last question for you guys before we run out of town, and it's a little on the spot there. We know that all marketing and advertising cycles go through seasonal trends, right? You've got Christmas, you've got the holidays, and you've got summer. And traditionally, summer has been known for mostly, a slow season, right? So how do you deal with seasonal and behavioral trends, like say the season of summer, when it comes to really trying to get some activity out of your advertising efforts? Gus, I'll start with you.
Sure. Summertime, where we do a lot of event marketing for different associations and chambers and things like that. So we're stressing the fun, the low cost, the community value. Be a part of the community in things that are happening this summer. For some of the larger ticket items that we deal with, it's just all about bringing that value to the audience and knowing the audience that we're trying to reach and getting them the right message that they're going to respond to.
And Joseph, is there a slow season or a busy season for mediation and arbitration?
Not really, because people's always disputing, people's always going to be arguing, and the courts, and with the courts being so backlogged after COVID, I think we're sitting pretty good right now. So
All right.
all of our firms do is we do. I always tell the other firms who call me up and to find out what I do to get my word out there. Say, just become a better storyteller. Tell your story to the public a little bit better.
And you were off camera, Gus, but if you want to go ahead and give him that nod, yes, be a good storyteller.
Oh,
you want to give one last tip on good storytelling?
Be authentic, be truthful. It doesn't take much for the audience to find out if you're stretching the truth a little bit these days, just a quick Google search. So just be truthful and be authentic.
All right. Well, that's a great place to leave it. Joseph George with George & George ADR Group and Gus Wagner with the Rocket Group. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today on Advertising Champions.
Sounds
Thank
great.
you so much for having us.
Oh, it's great to have you guys. And if you'd like to learn more about what they're doing over there at Advertising Champions, you can check them out by going to dailyadbrief.com. I'm Charlene Shirk. That's going to do it for us for this episode of Advertising Champions. We'll see you next time.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.